Hi everyone, and welcome to Billy Fitzgerald Golf, and today we're going to talk about impact. You know, usually when I get a student who comes up to the lesson tee, they kind of already know what's wrong with their swing. Maybe it's something in their posture, or their golf club is too far inside, or the club gets across the line, or they're over the top, or they're chicken winging on the way through. So, the one thing that we never talk about, which is obviously the single most important thing in the swing, is impact. And today what I want to do is go through impact, what happens at impact, and the things that I see that keep us from playing our best golf. So, usually when I ask a student, show me their impact position, if they have any idea at all, usually they don't know, what impact is. But it looks something like this. So they'll set up to the golf ball for me, and they'll do something like this. They've tried to clear their hips, which is their hips moving into the ball, and their right arm gets on top of the shaft, something like that. Because maybe they've heard clear your hips or try to cover the golf ball. Okay, so that is certainly not what I want at impact. So at impact, here's what happens. There's a few things that happen. The first thing that happens, so when I get to impact, my left hip pushes me away from the golf ball. That is how you clear your hips, never moving into the ball. So my left hip pushes me away, and when that happens, it tilts my shoulders a little bit. My hands are going to go high a little bit, but my right arm, more importantly, gets right on the back of the shaft. So if I get here, this is my setup, this is impact. So you can see how I'm not anywhere near the ball. My left hip's actually gotten further away from the ball. The weight of the club's pulled on my arm a little bit, pulled my arm straight, and my right arm is going here, right on the back of the shaft. That supports the shaft and stabilizes the face. You can see how much different it is from me moving into the ball and my right arm getting on top. Now in the last lesson we talked about with putting. That was our first time we've talked about impact. And what we talked about is how your arm is trying to line up with the shaft. So it's no different in pitching, driving, even if I play tennis. I'm trying to, again, feel my forearm match up with the shaft. So it's the same with putting, chipping. If I chip, again, when I'm chipping, I'm trying to feel like my forearm lines up with the shaft. Again, when I drive my golf ball, it's no difference. So I get into the golf ball, and I'm trying to line my forearm up with the shaft. Now, if I'm moving into the golf ball, see, this is where a lot of people get. Their right arm is way too on top because they've moved into the ball a little bit more than we want. So, here's the first thing that I do is, again, get in from your impact position. So, face on, you can see what it looks like a little bit more. So, we'll get ready to go. My left hip's going to push away. My hands go up a little bit. I don't want my hands way far forward because it's going to make the face open a little bit. But you can see my right arm is in line with the shaft. So what I'd like you to do is set up at impact and then hit just a few little shots. If we can work from impact back, then we kind of know how to build our swing, build it backwards. So again, a few things that you'll notice is my arm's in line with the shaft. I'm moving away from the golf ball a little bit. So in my full swing, more times than not, maybe I'm not going to move into the ball so much or come over the golf ball so much. So just little things that we can kind of feel and not get so technical that it'll help us if we know what impact, we know what we're trying, even not to do. So we'll get ready to go. I'm just going to set up first, and then I'm going to go to impact. My left leg is going to push my left hip away, and my right arm is going to match up with the shaft. Now all I want you to do is take the club back just a few feet and hit the ball. So I get a sense of feeling of how my right arm lines up with the shaft and how my body's away from the golf ball, not so much into it. Now the second drill I want you to do, and again, we do all of these off a tee. We're doing them very slow. We're just trying to feel and get ourselves in a familiar position of what impact's like. So after we hit a few, we just go into impact and make the club go back a few feet and just feel what that's like. Now the second thing we're going to do is get ready to go. Get in your setup position. Okay, now we're gonna go to impact first. Okay, I feel impact, good. Now I'm just gonna take the club back a little bit. Try to get into that same impact position. So we start small. We go to impact first and just hit a few shots. We just stay right there, and all you're doing is moving the face back and forth a little bit, just to feel what your body's doing. Then what you do is get into impact, go back to setup, and just start to hit a few little shots like that. So you can feel, again, maybe you're not moving into it, maybe your right arm is not rising, trying to get the right forehand to match up with the shafts a little bit. Start with impact and work your way back. You'll find out a lot about your swing and where we need to move forward into impact.